Hello again guys, this is Kevin Rick, and in this video I'm going to show you how you are going to solve rational equations. But first of all, what is a rational equation? Well, a rational equation is an equation that contains rational expressions. This one here is an example of a rational equation. It contains a rational expression in an equation. So kapag ka-equals yan, then that is an equation. This is also an example of a rational equation. This one here is not an example of a rational equation because obviously, although it has a rational expression, this is not an equation because this is not an equal sign, it is an inequality. This is also not a rational equation because although that is an equation, but it doesn't contain any rational expression. Okay, so now let's go to the main part. So how do we solve for x? In this rational equation, since there is only one fraction on the left side and one fraction on the right side, we can do cross multiplication. So to do that, we multiply this and the numerator of the fraction on the left side. So that will become 5 times 7x plus 12 is equal to, now we also take the product of the numerator of the right side and the denominator of the left side. So that will be 2 times 4x plus 3. As you can see, hindi na siya fraction. So the next thing we're going to do is to simplify the equation. We distribute. Okay, so after distributing, we segregate the terms. We put all those numbers with variables on one side and those constants on the other side. So ilalagay natin sa left side itong mga may x. And then we're going to move 60 to the other side. So that will become negative 60. And then we combine similar terms. So 35x minus 8x is 27x is equal to 6 minus 60 is a negative 54. To solve for x, we divide both sides by 27. Negative 54 over 27 is negative 2. So that is how we solve for x in this rational equation. Well, if you want to check your answer, you can substitute the x value to the original equation. And if it yields a true equation, then your answer is correct. So parang ganito. So sinabstitute ko yung negative 2 sa equation and I'm trying to confirm if my answer is correct. So yun. Since we have here a negative number divided by a negative number is positive. So since it yielded a true and valid equation, then negative 2 is indeed the solution of this rational equation. So let's have another example. So number 2, it is an equation that has 3 fractions and we cannot do what we did in the first example na cross multiplication. So number 2, we are going to get the least common denominator. So how do we get the least common denominator? Take note that the LCD is the least common multiple of the denominators. Okay, I want you to recall this method sa pagkuha ng LCM, no? So para kasi makuha yung LCM, okay, we get all the denominators. Ang ginagawa is that you should factor the numbers or the terms to its least possible component. So for example, no, let's say 20. Kung ifa-factor natin si 20 to its least possible component, so di ba yung factor ng 20 is 10 and 2, pero pwede nating i-factor si 10 ng 5 times 2. So dito wala nang pwedeng ma-factor. So ang prime factorization ng 20 is 5 times 2 times 2. So ganun po ang prime factorization. That is factoring the number to its least possible component. So yun ang gagawin natin dyan sa tatlong yan. So we are going to factor 2x. Ang factor lang naman ng 2x is 2 times x. Ang factor ng 5 is actually 5 and 1. So we cannot factor 5 further. So we copy 5. We cannot factor 2 any further. Next, since 2 is both factors of 2x and 2, we can just copy it. We are going to multiply 5, and we are going to multiply x. So the least common multiple of this 3 is 10x. So 10x is the LCD. So gets po ba? Ang LCD ng rational equation na to ay 10x. So after getting the least common denominator, we are going to multiply it to all the terms in the equation. So 10x times 1 over 2x, that is 10x over 2x, plus 10x times 3 over 5 is 30x over 5. Next, 10x times 1/2 is 10x over 2. And so we cancel, yung pwedeng makancel. So sa first term, you can just cancel x, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Sa second term, 30x divided by 5. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. Pero may x pa doon, so 6x. And sa third term, 10x over 2 is simply 5x. Now we can combine similar terms. We put all those numbers with variables on the left side and the constant on the right side. So 6x minus 5x is x, and so what's left is negative 5. So negative 5 is the solution of the rational equation. Easy? Easy lang yan. Okay, last. Okay, ano ulit ang gagawin? We get the least common multiple of the denominators. Pero paano nga ba? So, x plus 4, we have here x, and x squared plus 4x. X plus 4, we cannot factor this, so just copy it. X, we just copy it kasi hindi naman ma-factor si x eh. And then x squared plus 4, kung ifa-factor mo actually yan, it will become like this. So, ganyan po. So, since common si x plus 4, we can just copy it. We multiply it to x. So, the LCM is the quantity x plus 4 times x. Okay, what's next? We are going to multiply the LCD to all the terms of the equation. So, we distribute. So, kung i-distribute natin to, yan. So, 4x plus 2 times the LCD, which is x plus 4 times x. Mamaya na tayo mag-distribute kasi medyo maraming terms dito para hindi tayo malito. Plus, we are going to multiply this to the second fraction and to the last fraction. The next thing to do is to cancel common term. Okay, so dito po pwedeng ma-cancel si x plus 4. So what's left is 4x plus 2 times x. So pwede na nating i-multiply si x dito. So x times 4x is 4x squared. X times 2 is positive 2x. Plus, so we can cancel x here. So what's left is this one. I-distribute lang natin si 3. So x plus 12 is equal to, okay, actually this expression right here is x plus 4 times x, di ba? Ang expression na to at yung expression na to ay the same. So we can just cancel them. So what's left is 21. Okay, so next step is to combine similar terms. Okay, since this is a quadratic, we move all the terms on the left side para naka-ready na siya for factoring later on. So, I'm gonna erase this for a while muna para mailagay natin yung next solution natin, yung next step of our solution. Okay, so if we are going to simplify this further, it will become 4x. Okay, so 12 minus 9 is equal to 0. So we have here a quadratic equation. And how are we going to solve for x in a quadratic equation? We can do this by factoring. So paano bang mag-factor? We can do trial and error. So if I'm going to factor this, so ito po yung factor ng quadratic. And so we equate both factors to 0. And we solve for x. So may dalawang solution sa rational equation na ito. For you to confirm your answer, try substituting the x value in the original equation and see if it will yield a true and a valid equation. Pero kung sinubstitute mo at sinolve mo, sinimplify mo, at hindi totoo yung equation, it yielded a false equation, then probably mali ang solution mo. Or it is an extraneous root. So, ganun po ang pag-solve ng rational equations.